Tearing round corners at breakneck speed and risking life and limb is all in a day's work for today's guest, Miko Marczyk. Welcome, Miko. A champion national rally driver at a very young age. Miko got his first parking fine, I think, at 1.5 years old when he was seated on his dad's knee, but they were parked at the time. Miko's career has also been going at breakneck speed, and he says of himself, I never expected this to happen, neither did my team. I'm still not a hugely experienced rally driver, and every race for me is an adventure. Miko, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. You're currently off season, so the season isn't on at the moment, so I guess you have a little bit of time.
Yeah, hello Patrick, thank you very much for the invitation and for this special introduction. Of course, we are between the seasons. Now we organized the season 2009.
I wanted to replace this logo with your car, but it turns out we can't fit the Skoda Fabia for next year.
Yeah, of course, Skoda Fabia R5, but for the normal road car, I use now Skoda Superb.
Skoda, so he's a Skoda man, and I also have a Skoda, but we'll talk about that in a second.
Congratulations.
It's a good car. Miko, what special item have you bought to represent Poland?
Yeah, I have with me the medal. This is the medal from the time when I was driving with the go-karting. This is from the Kart World Championship in Italy, 2015. This is gold medal for one of the elimination race, and that was my first time to defend Poland on the abroad, we can say. And this is something which is really important for me, because from this time I know that international competition is something which I really like.
I've never met anyone who's won particularly anything, in particular in a competition international. What does it feel like when you're standing on the podium, having gone through everything, the preparation, the training mentally, the race, and then being there?
Of course, it is nice, but sometimes we are really tired after a race, and we haven't got big fun on the podium. And also, we think, in my case, I think a lot about future. I think how to use this situation, this podium, this trophy, to make progress and development in future. At this time, when I was driving in go-karting, I haven't got driving license, and I did my best to go to the rallies, because rallies is my big passion and hobby, and that was a time where I would like to organize my racing program from go-karting to rallies.
So you were go-karting internationally for Poland, but still not holding a driving license in the country. Did you pass first time?
Yeah, of course. At first, I had the B1 driving license in Poland. This is like for small cars below 550 kilos. And then, when I was 18, I passed first time the exam.
Time. Well, I'll now admit something for the first time. I passed my driving test on the 4th attempt, but that's why Miko's the racing driver and I'm the the interviewer. Miko, I've watched your videos online. There's a lot of them. And it's terrifying. You're taking corners, you know, the amount of thinking you have to do. I watch it and I think, ugh, what does it feel like when you're taking risks, essentially, with your life? Because, you know, it's a dangerous sport, isn't it? Do you love it?
Yeah, from outside, this is extreme sport, because we are driving 180 kilometers per hour between the trees on the gravel stages. And from my perspective, it should be quite calm inside my head, inside my brain. I should be confident to do my work in the best way.
Yes.
And of course, this is dangerous. This is extreme sports, but I hope that my preparation before the race and all my team organization, together with the crew, me and my co-driver, we work for somehow decrease the risk and have fun from the rally. It is fast car, it is a hard stage to drive in the Polish rallies, but it's nice. I love it.
Do you have time to think, you know, like consciously during the race, or are you just completely and utterly focused on the road and the instructions you're getting from your co-driver?
During the stage, I'm trying to be 100% concentrate on driving. I have a lot of exercises to concentrate for 20 minutes just for the one thing, because my concentration is our safe during the driving, and I also trying to have fun from driving, and when I drive my rally car, I don't want to think about anything else.
We're going to find out how Miko drives his normal car later on. Don't you worry. So tell me, obviously you had your first parking fine at 1.5. I think your uncle took you driving at 4. Is that right?
Yes, yes.
Can you tell that story?
Yeah, when I was 1.5 years old, my father took me, and policeman wasn't happy because he saw the small guy behind the steering wheel. But I haven't got tradition of motorsport in my family. Of course, my father and my brother like motorsport and automotive industry overall. My uncle, in fact, that was in Greece, and he was a little bit more connected with motorsport. That was a really nice car, and I drove behind the wheel on his knees 25 kilometers or something like that. And he said that during this 25 kilometers, I was the only one driver on the steering wheel, and he
4 years old.
Yeah.
Right, my daughter's almost 4, and there's no way I'm going to put her behind the wheel.
But that was my hobby and my big passion from the very first years. And always, when I have possibility to drive the car, that was really important thing to me. That was not just a little bit of fun for small guy, but I took it seriously.
Yeah. So let's talk about your career then, when you started to go into go-karting, and when did it become a career rather than just an interest?
The first track in my city, in Łódź, because I'm from Łódź, launched in 2010, and I was 15 years old, and my brother with his friends took me on go-karts, and that was really nice for me, and also I was quite fast, and when you are good in something, you like it much much more, and that was start of my activity with motorsport. I was 15. Then for the 1 or 2 years I was driving in the local competitions, and after it I went for the Polish championship, and I won it 3 times in a row, and I represent our country on World Championship in Denmark, in Brazil, and in Italy, which was really nice. I also drive in 24-hour races with my team Poland. There were also competitions like Ironmans. For example, I drove individually 6 hours without any breaks, just driving, which was also very good for the technique of driving. And that was a good time for me, but all the time I was thinking about the rallies. I need go-karts because this is good basic for technique of driving. Yes. But after my exam, and from the time when I have a driving license, I all the time driving in rallies.
Yeah. So you essentially became as good as you could be at karting, and then transferred onto rallies. Now you're only, I think, 25.
Now I'm 23.
23.
Yes.
Make me feel slightly old. So you're actually one of the youngest rally drivers, I assume, because they tend to be older, as far as I know. Yeah,
usually in our country, drivers are older. They are like 30, 35, 40, because experience in this sport is really important. But I'm trying to compare to the best drivers all over the world, and now they are sometimes 20, and they are really fast. And I'm trying to develop myself and improve, but the competition all over the world is big.
Now, you mentioned the exercises that you do to concentrate. You have a coach, I think.
Yeah.
How has that coach worked with you to improve your mental game?
Mm-hmm. Of course, there are some parts of training, because one part is the physical side. it's also important because from the spectator point of view, we just sit and steer a little
yes,
bit.
little left, little
But
right.
when, for example, temperature is 30 degrees outside, inside in the car we have 60 degrees, and it's quite demanding for us, and we should be prepared. But in my opinion, the most important things are in our brain, and the mental side is really important. It's important to concentrate. My coordination is also really important because I have 3 pedals, steering wheel, handbrake, gearbox, a lot of things, and it's important to train a lot because I haven't got time for the decisions. It's just like half a second sometime to make a good maneuver, and
Yes.
it should be trained. I don't have time to think about it.
Okay, what about the role of your co-driver? So they're telling you the exact turn that's just about to come up?
Yes. Before the rally, for example, 2 days before the rally, we go for the reconnaissance of the road. We are driving normal road car with the speed limits, normal, not fast. And I'm telling my co-driver how I see these roads. For example, 200, which is 200 meters between the corners, and then I can say 4 plus left, which means that this corner is 6 is the fastest one, 1 is the slowest, 4 is in the middle, and I'm trying to imagine this road. And after, when we are driving in rally car, he read me these pace notes, which is my vision of the road. He's really important because his pace is very important. We also have many challenges during the rally, for example, some problems with the car. He should be also a good mechanic to support me, and all the things which are on the rally are on his responsibility. Driver is just for fast driving.
Your career, as I mentioned at the start, has gone very quickly. So how did you do in last year's championships? You almost won the entire championship, didn't you?
Yeah, 2018, that was my first year in the best rally car, which is Skoda Fabia R5. That was big chance from the Skoda Polska Motorsport team. And the season wasn't really easy for us, but the final part was good. We won 2 rallies on the gravel. I haven't got experience on the gravel, but I like it. And we won in our class, and we took 2nd place, vice champion in overall classification, which was big success and a big surprise for me. But of course, I know that I can, and I should develop. I hope that this year will be better for me because I have a lot to improve, but I love it.
Now let's talk about the car then. So I also drive a Skoda Fabia. However, I believe there may be some small differences between my version and Miko's version. You know, what kind of top speed are we talking about here? What kind of modifications do you do? This is a beast of a car.
Patrick, this is a very good choice. Congratulations, because Skoda Fabia is a really good car. At the first, I can say that 60% of parts are the same, but the most important parts are different in between our cars. My car is a 1.6 liter engine, which is not a very big one, around 300 horsepower, which still is not nothing special in our 2019 time. And but the biggest difference is the safety cage, suspension. I used to drive really fast on the bumpy sections, bumpy roads. It's not a big problem for me. I have sequential gearbox. I don't use the clutch when upshifting and downshift. The car is wider on the 18-inch wheels, bigger one with very grippy tires.
Can I ask him if he's got any spares left over? This is all expensive stuff, isn't it? And up until you were picked by Skoda, I think you quite a lot of it you had to kind of self-finance, or you had to find sponsors and things. How difficult is that for a young driver trying to make it in the business?
It is difficult, but My motto is to work every day on small things, small tasks, and in general, it makes nice things. And I think that 5 or 6 years ago, I started with my social media on the Facebook, which was important because we haven't got a lot of medias in go-karting, but I started to present my passion to the people around this world. And I had some opportunities because of them, because I had a lot of situations where someone feel that know me well because he read my Facebook, for example, and social media. And for example, I found in 2016 one doctor who is big fan of rallies, and he built the rally car from 90s, and he said that this car is for me and I can use it on the Barburka rally in Warsaw. I used this car, and we made really good score. After it, I had the chance to start in the Polish Championship. That was in 2017. After the Polish champion in Open and class in 2017, I had opportunity to drive with Skoda. And sometimes I think I have a lot of luck, and probably yes, but I'm trying to work on this luck to have a bigger opportunity to drive and develop.
I think that's probably a very useful lesson for many people in many different places. It is a dangerous sport. You must have had some crashes, smaller and bigger. Have you had a crash which has really been, huge?
Yeah, I had on Rally Dolnośląski this in 2018 May. We hit the tree, a really big impact. That was my fault. When rally driver is young and would like to drive really fast, it is possible to have a crash. Of course, I know that this is dangerous sport. I have big knowledge after it, and I hope this season will be without any crashes. What is important for us, the Skoda Fabia R5 is really a safe car. Also during the crash, it's hard to say something more because that wasn't easy situation for me and for the team, but I had big support from them, and after it we made some good rallies.
I assume you must go home and feel guilty maybe, or kind of very emotional because you feel like you're the person who, the driver ultimately is the person moving the car. Did you have any problem with that feeling?
In the first day after it, I haven't, but after 1-2 weeks, when the adrenaline was lower, I wasn't happy. I knew that this situation wasn't easy. We damaged the car, and we also lost a lot of points in our classification. But I know that it's important to try and push myself to be better and work harder on development, even if I have some mistakes. Many people believe in my driving, and it's not only my thing to cancel the program, because a lot of people work on it, and sometimes even my motivation is lower. I work for them because they understand my passion and they believe in my potential.
We definitely look forward to seeing you making a name for yourself and making a name for Poland in the future, and thank you very much for joining us. You can watch Miko tear around corners at breakneck speed, seemingly madly out of control, but as we've seen today, very, very much focused on the prize. Quite extraordinary amount of talent for such a young person. Miko, you've been a fantastic guest. Do make sure that you share this episode with anyone who's interested in incredible talent like Miko and the story of Poland. And make sure you share us wherever you find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. Who cares? Make sure you share it. And we'll see you again on the next show of Heart of Poland.